Welcome. It's your man, God of Dots, back with another episode of The Audible. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I know that I did. For all my vets out there, happy Veterans Day. Had a good week, man. Had a good week. Had a very good weekend. A lot of good football. We're going to get into some news. And then, we'll be back on Thursday. We'll be back on Thursday breaking down the upcoming week. A lot of big games. This is moving time. This is moving time around the league. Teams are trending up, teams are trending down, and we're going to kind of talk about it tonight as we kind of recap this past week's game. I think I just go ahead and get some of these games out of the way, and I want to focus a little bit more on some of these other games. Uh, Bears beat the Panthers last Thursday. Congratulations to the Bears for beating a substandard team. So, I mean, I guess congratulations to the Bears for actually winning. I would say this about the Bears, and this is not really good news for Justin Fields. It's the rookie quarterback that they have, the no name guy, Bangit, whatever his name is. He's looked just as well as Justin has looked in this offense, and this I'm not sure if Justin's going to be the quarterback of the future going forward for the Chicago Bears. It doesn't. My spirit tells me it's not going to happen. My spirit tells me it's not going to happen. My spirit tells me that this is going to be Justin Fields last year. If they do bring him back, I'm not sure, but I had my spirit tells me this is not a right fit for Justin Fields. It's not a right fit. Yes, they went out and got DJ Moore in a trade in the off season, but this offense, and I'm not putting it all on Justin Fields why this team is looking like this team has looked thus far this season. I said before the season, if this team was just let Justin Fields unleash, let him play the way that's comfortable for him and adjust the offense to your players. And smart coaches do that. Coaches that are trying to win games and trying to be successful in the league always kind of tailor their offense to the talent that they have on the field. And I don't think Chicago has done a good enough job of that thus far this season. It's been a struggle for you Bears fans, but congratulations for picking up the win on last Thursday. Get into some of the less notable games, and then we'll kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the breakdowns of the review. Colts, Patriots, 10-6, Colts over the Patriots. Ugly game. It wasn't on, for me, it wasn't must-see TV at all. It was hard to watch. And I think it's more and more reports are coming out of Patriots house that this may be. There's already been talks that the team is talking to Bill Belichick for trying to get this guy to retire gracefully. They've checked out, dude. They've checked out. If you have watched the Patriots game this year, this team, first of all, is not as talented as most of the teams that they're playing against. Considering that you're playing in the AFC, where everybody's has made moves over the past couple of seasons to get remarkably better. I mean, Miami's made moves to get better. Buffalo's made moves to get better. The Jets have made moves to get better. Everybody in the AFC has really pushed the envelope because it's no slight to the NFC. No slight to the NFC. But in the AFC, it's a lot of dogs fighting for that bone to get into the Super Bowl, and they're making strides, they're making moves, they're being aggressive about those moves. A lot of those teams that are shown to be successful or do very well in the draft, do very well in free agency, and the Patriots, for lack of better terms, have lacked in free agency, have lacked in the draft, and what you see out on the field is what you get. Mac Jones, I wasn't high on him coming out of college, even though he was roll tide, what's going on, Spider? I wasn't high on, any of the guys that they brought in New England. And hey, Kraft, yeah, have a real serious talk with Belichick, man, to let him know this is it. I wouldn't even give him an option at this point. Let him know, hey, man, this is your last year. This is your last year. Now you can choose how you want to go out. You can go out gracefully, retire at the end of the season. But we're moving on. This franchise needs to move on for the Bill Belichick era. for a team that has stuck with a head coach for that long and been that successful. I know it's kind of heart wrenching for these Patriots fans, but it's time for you guys to turn the page. It's time for you guys to turn the page, and bring in, have a fresh new start. Please don't bring in Josh McDaniels and thinking he's the solution. He ain't. He ain't. But it's time to move on. Get into some of the other games. 49ers over the Jags. I picked 49ers going into this game. I've been, I've been critical of the Jags thus far this season. I've been critical of the Jags thus far this season. I think it's been a lot of smoke and mirrors. I don't think they are as good as their record would indicate. I know some people were saying they was in the upper echelon of the AFC. Nah. To go out there and get dismantled completely and not even making it a competitive fight against the 49ers. True, the 49ers were coming off a bye, coming off 3 straight losses. I figured they would get the win. They would, fix what they had to fix. You had Deebo Samuel return. Trent Williams is back out there healthy. But I have, I've been honest about it. What's going on, Trick? I've been honest about it. I've had no faith in Jacksonville at all this season. I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I don't think the team is as good when you match them up with, comparable talent. It just, it shows on the field. And Trevor Lawrence, although talented, is highly inconsistent. I thought they would play a much better game against the 49ers, but to go out there and get smashed at home 34-3, it says a lot about where your team is really at. I think, you have to, I think the Jaguars will win the division. I do think they will be in the playoffs. They win a playoff game, but I'm not going to put them in my tier 1 teams. I'm not looking at the Jaguars as making a Super Bowl run. Sorry, not sorry. You still got some work to do. Still got some work to do in Jacksonville. Hey, it's one game. I'm not going to, jump down the throat, but I just never thought they was as good as they record. I picked against them a couple times. They proved me wrong. I picked the 49ers coming into this one, and I was right. It was a beat down. Speaking of beat downs, I'm going to get this out of the way. I'm not going to say, I know you guys thought I was going to come up here and be Cowboys. I will do this. That is about as much praise I'm going to heap on the Cowboys. Good win. You beat a team with a 3rd street quarterback. You beat a team that you blew out, smoked them first week of the season. I don't think anybody outside of New York, and hell, even half New York was probably picking against the Giants. Giants is just not a good team right now. Some of that's attributed to injury, some of that's attributed to the play calling. Offense just looked stale the first half. They picked it up in the second half, but by that time Dallas had kind of let off the gas. I'm not going to say the boys are back. After smashing the Giants, you did what you're supposed to do. You beat a bad team. The Giants are a bad team, and that's what you want to be successful in the NFL. When you're supposed to smash teams, you smash them. I know the Cowboys are looking back at that Arizona game early in the season. That was a game you're supposed to win. You're supposed to go out there and smash that team, and then they took care of business Sunday. So, like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the Giants and Cowboys. It's not much to say. It's not much to say. We will have a little discussion a little bit later on in the show. Like, you see it kind of going, who is the MVP? Is it time to, I had Lamar Jackson as my number 1, and we'll talk about his performance against Cleveland. I had Lamar Jackson as my number 1 going into the week as far as like leading the MVP race. To me, Lamar is still in the conversation. When we'll talk about his performance, but is it time to really start giving Dak the proper respect? Is it time to give Dak the proper respect for his level of play this year? Whether you are a Cowboys fan or not, and I know it's not some of y'all out here listening who are not Cowboys fans, but it's time to really. Dak is got to be somewhere. I'm not going to put him at the top, but he's got to be somewhere in the MVP conversation based off how he's played this year. A lot of the mistakes he was making last year, as far as the turnovers and the interceptions, he's cleaned a lot of that up. He did have a bad throw on Sunday with that pick, but for the most part, Dak is taking care of the ball. Dak has been productive. Is it time to really start having a conversation? That Dak needs to be in the MVP race. In my opinion, he does. If the Cowboys continue to win, Dak continues to perform at the level he's played at this season, you'd be hard pressed to find another player. It is few. And this is few. It's just a couple guys in that conversation. But I think it's time to really start being serious about including Dak into that conversation. A guy that's been talked about in the media, maybe he should be in that conversation. To CJ Stroud pulling off the big win against Cincinnati. CJ Stroud played very well in that game. Cincinnati had a chance to kind of close it out. Tyler Boyd dropped a touchdown in the end zone late in the fourth quarter. But the Texans, they got something going on. I don't know. DeMeco Ryans is doing a hell of a job down there. When you consider the amount of injuries, I didn't realize this until I started looking at the injury report for the Texans. They had 22 guys with injuries going into that game against Cincinnati. DeMeco Ryans is doing a hell of a job. I think right now, if I had to pick coach of the year based on what the expectations are and what the team is doing, DeMeco Ryans as a rookie head coach is got to be my pick right now for coach of the year. It's hard for me to find a coach who is doing more. I mean, and when you really look at the talent on the Texans, it doesn't jump off the page all over the board. They do have some nice pieces. But I like what they're doing with the scheme. They're allowing CJ Stroud. You need to be paying attention, Bears fan. They're allowing CJ Stroud to play in a style that's comfortable for him. They're tailoring the offense to his talents, and they're playing winning football. I'm gonna say this. If the Texans make it into the playoffs, now I'm not going to pick them to make a run to the Super Bowl, but that is a team I will be kind of worried about playing come playoff time. That is a very well coached team, a very disciplined team. They have a style of football that leads to wins. Offense has been doing great. CJ Stroud is having a great rookie year. I think it's not even a contest in my eyes who's offensive rookie of the year. You got to give it to CJ Stroud. Great performance on Sunday. Cincinnati, I had them. I picked them. They had opportunities late. Just couldn't fit the mustard. Defense kind of failed them in the second half of that game. But that's not to take anything away from what the Texans did. Congratulations on them for picking up a very, 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 very. Tell me you're a Cowboys fan, but I didn't heap too much praise on the Cowboys, but Dak is having a good year. And when you really think about the quarterback play. And let's be honest, the MVP award is basically a quarterback's award primarily. How many guys can you really say at the quarterback position are having a better year? I mean, you can make I would say Lamar's still in that conversation. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is in that conversation. You have to include Jalen Hurts based on the team's success. How many quarterbacks can you say are really seriously in that conversation and not include Dak in that conversation? I mean, it's not being a homer, I hope, the team continues to win, but I'm just basing it on this play. Dak has had a hell of a season. So I don't want to, take anything away from him. He should be in the MVP conversation. Speaking of being in the MVP conversation, Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, bad loss yesterday against the Broncos. Josh Allen, came into the season, high hopes. Had the Bills on my tier one of teams in the AFC. I thought this team was going to be much, much better. Something is going on. They just fired their offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey. After last night's bad loss. Against a trending up. I'm gonna say this: a trending up Denver Broncos team. I was kind of, this team was kind of dead in the water to start off the season. But Sean Payton is working some magic up there. The defense is playing a lot better, and Russell Wilson is having a much better year than he did last year. The Broncos are trending up. The Bills are trending down. Bills right now, if the playoffs were to start today, the Bills will not be in the playoffs. And I didn't think I'd be saying that especially at this point of the season. Coming into this season, but Buffalo, Josh Allen is I've said this on a couple of occasions. As far as like him throwing the ball and turning over, that gunslinger mentality, dude is Brett Favre without the rings. Dude is Brett Favre. Josh Allen makes terrible throws. He does not take care of the football. And I can't keep running with this narrative like he's some kind of second year quarterback. I mean, the dude was on the cover of Madden. Shout out to those that play Madden. The dude was on the cover of Madden. He's been in the league for a number of years now. He should not still be, as careless with the ball as he is. And this has been a trend since he's coming to the league. Coming into the if you look at the stats, the most turnovers at the quarterback position since he's coming to the league, Josh Allen leads the pack. One thing I find disappointing when I listen to some of these sports shows is, when Dak has a good game and the Cowboys lose, it's Dak this, Dak bad. But nobody's willing to, really throw Josh Allen under the bus for his poor play. His play has been poor this season. And it shows in the team's record. When you look at the amount of talent that Buffalo has on both sides of the ball, and that talent just is not playing up to the expectations. Von Miller has not been a game changer. I do know they have, Matt Milano's gone for the season, but when you have the weapons that they have on the offensive side of the ball, you have some of the talent that they have on the defensive side of the ball, there's no way this team should be a 500 team at this point of the season. His team looks lost, looks like they have no direction. I know they got rid of the offensive coordinator. This team, doesn't make a deep run into the playoffs, you could be looking at a head coaching change. I'm just saying. It's no excuse. I have no excuses. I won't make no excuses for Josh Allen. Josh Allen has, he's slant. You take the time. If you're not a Bills fan, take the time, watch a Bills game one time. Just watch it, and you'll see how many times Josh Allen will put the ball in the hard way. And I know he has a lot of arm talent. I know he has a lot of confidence on being able to put the ball in certain spots, but you got to understand in the NFL, you cannot keep putting the ball in harm's way. You cannot keep putting the ball in harm's way, and he has done it year after year, and it's cost him in the biggest of moments. Right now, it's costing his team. I mean, based on, like I said, we're talking about who's trending up, who's trending down. Buffalo's trending down. I'm not sure Buffalo makes it into the playoffs. And that is, got to be a disappointment. And Sean McDermott, the head coach, you are on the hot seat. Your team has come in the last couple of seasons with Super Bowl expectations and fallen very short. You might not even make the playoffs. You got a big matchup coming up against the Jets this coming week. I mean, Jets are fighting, jockeying for position. You might surround to be under 500. This time next week when we're doing this show, it's looking bad out there for you Buffalo fans. It's looking bad, and I know it's a Buffalo fan. I know he doesn't watch the show because he don't know I'm over here in this space. But Nova, your Bills are looking bad, man. Your Bills are looking bad. Speaking of looking bad, Jets with a tough loss against a Game Raiders team. Jets with a tough loss. I'm still optimistic about the Jets' chances to possibly make a run. I know the offense has not been what it would have been with Aaron Rodgers at the helm. Zach Wilson has done a decent enough job, but eventually this offense is going to have to start putting up some points to support the strong defensive performance week in and week out that this team puts up. For your team to give up 16 and you only get 12. And I watched the game. It was an ugly game, but New York leaves so many plays out there on the field. Part of it is that Zach Wilson running game is kind of hit or miss. I know they miss Aaron, man. You got to play with who you got on the field. But if I'm a defensive player on the Jets, like, hey man, you guys got to give me 20, give me 20, 21, and we could be winning a lot of these games that we're losing. But tough loss against the Raiders. Raiders were one of those teams that since the coaching change may be trending up. Aiden O'Connell, rookie quarterback, not a stellar game stat wise, but is doing enough to keep the team in games, and the defense is starting to come around for the Raiders. So good win for them. Good win for them. They're trending up. Another team that is trending up is the Detroit Lions. Continue to go up. Second best team in the NFC. Second best team in the NFC. I am concerned about what I'm seeing out of Detroit last couple of games as far as the defense is concerned. They're allowing a lot of points. Early on in the season. This is one of the better defenses in the league as far as they getting pressure on the quarterback, forcing turnovers, keeping the yardage down. But the last couple of games, that's a question mark for me. I know Detroit can score when anybody. They can score. They can score with the deep pass, the intermediate game, run game is starting to come alive. So I'm not concerned about the offense for Detroit, but the defense. Justin Herbert had a field day out there. Justin Herbert had a field day. It literally came down to who had the ball last in that game. Justin Herbert had a field day. Keenan Allen was cooking that secondary left and right. I'm concerned about Detroit. I'm concerned about Detroit and their defense. Going forward, they need to clean it up on that side of the ball. Offensively, no issues, no concerns. I like what they're doing. I like the play calling that they got to go. How you doing, Miss Murph? Still working, catch the replay. Cool. That is all fine and dandy. Did I miss any games? Did I miss any notable games? Oh, for you Falcons fans, oh, be encouraged. You lost, but everybody else in your division lost too. So right now you still you have an opportunity to take this division. You lost Kyler Murray return. You made some you had some brave farts on the defensive side of the ball last drive of the game to cost you. For a team to kind of drive down the field with that amount of time, and what the situation is. I was expecting the defense to play a lot better during that stretch, but hey, it is what it is. But be encouraged, Falcons fans. The running game is doing its job. The defense didn't play bad. Defense didn't play bad. He had some lapses at some key moments. The defense didn't play bad. Tyler Heinicke didn't have the best game passing, and you still had an opportunity, a player here, play here, play there to win the game. I think if I'm looking at the NFC South, looking at the division, like who's trending up, who's trending down. Saints, you had Derek Carr get hurt. You got Jameis Winston. Good luck with that. But Falcons fan, be encouraged. Be encouraged. You have an opportunity to still win this division. I think, if start, get Heinicke some more reps, get Heinicke going, open up the passing game a little bit more. I don't know who the hell the offensive coordinator is out there in Atlanta, but you got talent all over the field, and the Falcons aren't notable. I'm just saying, you got to bring in first of all, probably bringing in a new head coach next year with a new offensive coordinator. You have talent. When you look at Atlanta, now I looked at their roster outside of Desmond Ridder. You have a decent offensive line, decent. You have talent on the outside at the wide receiver position. You have a very good backfield that will lead you to think this team would be a run-heavy team. You have a tight end in Kyle Pitts who is, I'm not sure if this dude is engaged or not, considering, all the hype he had coming in, and it's just not been, manifested on the play on the field. You have talent there. You have, Drake London on the outside. You have young talent on the defensive side of the ball. I think you just need a change at the head coach. Just bring in somebody, that's a little bit more dynamic. Leave Desmond Ridder on the bench where he belongs, or get rid of him. And this may be an opportunity for the Falcons to really take a serious look at the draft. I mean, because there's a lot of quarterbacks coming out this year. A lot of talented quarterbacks coming out this year. So this may be the opportunity, if the Falcons don't make the playoffs, to look to address that in the draft. just the quarterback, position to draft. Nothing against Tyler Heineke. He's a good spot guy. But he's not the future, and Desmond Ridder damn sure ain't the future. But be encouraged, Falcons fans. Be encouraged. Be encouraged. I think this team is trending up since they made the quarterback and change from Ridder to Heineke. So I think the Falcons are, in my opinion, this is my opinion, are trending up. Another team that I think is trending up is the Minnesota Vikings. Somebody's got to put some respect on Joshua Dobbs' name. Someone has got to put some respect for this dude to come off the street cold and pick up the win last week and do it again against a very, very good Saints defense. Says a lot. The offense has not missed a beat since Kirk Cousins got hurt. Joshua Dobbs is coming in. He's playing his style of football. Looking at you, Chicago Bears, they kind of adjusted the system to cater to his talents. You do have Justin Jefferson, who is set to return very soon. Minnesota as a team is trending up. It's trending up. I don't think they catch Detroit to win in the division, but Minnesota as a team, I think, is you got to have in that conversation for a possible playoff berth. A possible playoff berth. They've got to be in that conversation for me. I like how they've looked. Like I said, the defense is playing better. As playing better. I know they got gashed up early in the season, but this defense is playing better. Minnesota is a team I have that is trending up right now. That is a team that I have is trending up. Another team that I have that's trending up, and this is probably, I said I was going to get into this game. I wanted to kind of save it for last. Probably the best game from this past Sunday. And I'm talking about Cleveland and Baltimore. If you're Baltimore, you let one slip away. For you to be up double digits in the fourth quarter, Lamar Jackson, probably the worst game he's had this season in regards to key turnovers. Some miscues by Baltimore on the defensive side of the ball. Cleveland has got a formula, and if I'm a Ravens fan, if I'm a Bengals fan, I'm a Pittsburgh fan. Cleveland is a team I really don't want it to get it together, because if you look at the talent on paper, and I'm just saying on paper, when you look at the talent on paper on both sides of the ball, I'd be hard pressed to find another team in that division that matches up as well with Cleveland. Cleveland has shown, hey, Nick Chubb goes out, we are still able to pound the ball and run the rock at will. And the defense gets after it. The defense forces turnovers. Myles Garrett is a game wrecker. When you look at the talent, I'm just saying the talent, it is hard. You're hard pressed to find a better team in that division. The only question I have is Deshaun Watson back? I mean, he had a pretty good game, but is it safe to say Deshaun Watson is back? Because he'll mess around next week and have a subpar performance. Cleveland is a team, I think you have to say it's trending up. Of course, Baltimore with the loss, I still have them trending up, but I'm looking forward just a little bit to next week's games. Steelers and Browns. You're talking about two winning teams, two teams that have similar styles as far as running the ball and playing good defense. Going to be smash mouth football there. Going to be smash mouth football. Let me see what I got going on here, because I said I want to make this a long show. Hopefully within the next week or so, I will be adding a new segment to the show. I've been working with another content creator, to add a feminine touch to the show, not just good old Dots up here running his mouth, giving you the ins and outs of my views on the football world, but add a little feminine touch to it. So we will be starting that real soon, getting that lined up. We're trying to do some things. I may get the housekeeping out of the way. I may be doing a show tomorrow, kind of piecing something that together. Of course, maybe doing a show over here on Friday. I'm trying to find a good suitable topic to kind of discuss. Of course, over in the other space, I'll be doing that show. Then I'll be doing the other show with the homie. So I got a lot going on, But yeah, we're trying to include like I said, a new segment to the show that'll be coming soon. Like I said, it is just me, but add a little feminine touch to the show. Something for the ladies. Some give them a little pocket of space to talk they ish. But let me get my behind up out of here, man. But hey, yeah, we'll be back on Thursday for sure over here. Probably be my regular time, which is about 7:30. So we will be doing that on Thursday. Looking forward to some of those games coming up when I look ahead to the schedule, because you're talking about AFC North is for me. AFC North is set going to be set the tone for the rest of the week. That Thursday game, you got Bengals at Ravens. Both teams coming off a loss, don't want to fall behind in the race for the division. And then you got Steelers and Browns on Sunday. So, I mean, we might be having a new leader in the doghouse, no pun intended, after Sunday. So I'm looking forward to those games. We'll talk more about that on Thursday when I'm going to take another peek to the schedule here. Any other games kind of jump out at me? Probably the Sunday night game, which is Vikings and Broncos. Two teams I have that are trending up. Josh Dobbs, Russell Wilson. The prime time, like I said, both teams are trending up. Broncos defense is starting to come to play. Vikings have not lost a beat since losing Kirk Cousins, so that'll be a good matchup to watch. I'm not really geeked over the Jets and the Bills. I'm gonna watch, but I ain't geeked over it. And probably the matchup, Super Bowl rematch, Eagles at Chiefs, Monday night game. What a way to go into the Thanksgiving week. Let me get my let's see what else I got. I think that's about it. All right, so appreciate everybody for coming out, take the time to listen to little old me. Remember, like, share, subscribe, leave comments. I try to respond as in a timely enough fashion. If I don't, blame it on my mind, not my heart. End you off with a phrase that pays over here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but every time you learn. And I'm out.